Gideon is an amazing hero, connected to Paragon in a lot of ways. And lore-wise, he's very connected to a lot of people and a lot of the core themes of what's going on behind Paragon, at least the old Paragon. But also, he was the wombo combo guy. And while he was reworked a couple times in Monolith, I've reworked him once again. And you're either going to love this or absolutely hate it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Hero Rework video. I am Sylphin. So, a few things right off the bat. One, this does not represent what Unleashed Games is going to do at all. At all. It is simply my idea and my idea alone. So, yes, I'm going to send this off internally, but this is just my idea. Two, hero passives are coming back. So I want to make those passives for heroes and make it accentuate their core gameplay. Accentuate their core gameplay. What is the reason to pick the hero? And how do you bring that out through their passive? Three, I like the idea of quest mechanics, or kind of what I'm maybe thinking of calling them sort of like Paragon mechanics, where if you do something that defines the hero's role and purpose well, then over time it becomes empowered, enabling you to be even more effective at the reason why you picked that hero in the first place. So that is part of a hero's kit, as you'll see here. And four, heroes, in my opinion, have to be designed around a core gameplay niche theme. There has to be a core purpose as to why you say, aha, I need Gideon in this scenario because he does something extremely well and is maybe not weak against something else. So, what is his niche and theme? You're going to either love this or hate this, ladies and gentlemen. I think Gideon should be a burst high damage mage. Mage meaning lots of damage, low mobility, low utility, even though he does have some utility, as you'll see. I think he should be that. Not a long range caster, not anything else, just a burst medium range-ish high damage mage, where he does a lot of damage and that's it. There's a lore connection. There's a lore connection to this. He is, I can't say, but he's very powerful and he's connected inherently to the thing that's stuff on Agora stuff. He's the man. He's the guy. He's Gideon, okay? So he deals damage. He is the cosmic power, okay? Summons a freaking black hole, man. You don't poke people from afar and then summon a freaking black hole. He's a damage dealer and he's supposed to nuke people down. So, I've run with that theme, and there's a few things that happen when you run with that theme. If you deal insane amounts of damage with some utility, you cannot have high mobility. And yes, Gideon's teleport was a huge part of his kit and identity. I've somewhat removed it. You cannot deal an insane amount of damage, especially from afar, and have insane mobility. You cannot. That is broken inherently. You cannot. So I'm sorry if this offends you. This is just my idea, and you can say I'm an idiot, and I won't care. So, his passive. Gideon levitates off the ground with void energy, gaining 10% increased movement speed when out of combat. This ramps up over 2 seconds, so you don't just gain instant 10% movement speed when you're trying to escape or whatever. Why this passive? Because if he's a burst mage that's kind of medium-ish range, you're gonna want to get in, do your damage, and then kind of get out. So he needs something to kind of get in a little bit and get out. And that is what this is. So he can gain some movement speed, dodge some attacks when outside of combat, get in, and do that. Does this make him a great ganker and movement speed across the map? Yes. So awesome. That's awesome. He's Gideon. He's Gideon. He deals lots of damage, and he's crazy. There you go. When entering combat, though, Gideon gains 8, 12, 6. He gains ability penetration for 6 seconds. So you're incentivized to get in, deal your tons of damage because you're the monster that Gideon is, and then go back. Pick your engagements, deal your damage, and get out. That is a mage. Deals damage. Increase movement speed to get in and out and traverse the map. Be useful. And gain ability pen when you enter combat. That can only happen every 40 seconds. Or 30 or whatever that has to be. There you go. So, Cosmic Rift. It's the same thing except it's what it used to be. Gideon opens a rift into space, summoning meteors that you've been seeing in this video that strike the target location, dealing damage over 3 seconds, just like that. If Void Tether is connected to an enemy, yes, I'm bringing back his burden, but I'm calling it Void Tether, all damage is dealt instantly. So, if you are able to Void Tether somebody, that's a skill shot, and Cosmic Rift on top of them, it deals the damage instantly. A big meteor comes down and deals damage. After dealing 3,000 damage to enemy heroes, an additional 15% ability damage is dealt instantly upon ability cast. So you gain, essentially, another, it just deals more damage instantly. It just deals additional, so you get another small meteor on top of your big one if you put burden on it. So, what this does is that after dealing 3,000 damage to enemy heroes, because it's a damage over time in an AoE, people are just going to walk outside of it, and you're not going to get much for that quest. So, if you Void Tether and then Cosmic Rift, you'll get more of the damage, getting the quest faster, meaning you get that empowered state more, and you're a better player because of it, right? Booyah! Gameplay loops, baby. Void Tether! It's a simple projectile that slows an enemy hero, I don't know by how much, forget numbers, pretend it's all balanced, and deals damage over 2.5 seconds. 8-second cooldown. It's a projectile, slows somebody, deals damage for Gideon to land his abilities on that target, convert his kit, deal damage, and get out. Awesome. Void Breach. It's that other projectile that was given to him in Monolith. Gideon summons a massive meteor that rushes forward. It's a forward, dealing damage in a small radius. You have to land the ability. It is a projectile. It has to connect with somebody. So, and it was a bit of an issue to use. Like you had to get used to using Void Breach, and that's okay. If Void Tether is attached to an enemy hero, though, the meteor is slightly drawn to the enemy. It's not auto aim. It's not auto targeted. It's just slightly drawn in towards the hero. It helps. It helps a little bit. If you're familiar with physics, well, if the target is farther away, then there's more time for the projectile to be influenced by it, meaning that it's affected more by that slightly drawn into the enemy. If the enemy's super close, there isn't very much time to influence it, so there you go. What essentially I've done is I've made Void Tether an interesting integral part to his kit. I've made it part of his combo system. Void Tether into Cosmic Grift to convert all that instantaneous damage that is possible, that makes your Void Breach easier to land, along with some basics after that, and then you can get out. So it's an integral part instead of just this mundane skill that just slows and deals damage, which isn't all that exciting. Made it part of a combo within his kit. Now, that's his Void Breach. Deals good damage. Deals good damage that is slightly drawn to a tethered enemy. 12-second cooldown. His black hole. His black hole is where I've put his teleport. I don't know how often people would use a teleport to get into the ultimate, but I would say that you would always use their teleport, almost always. You use their teleport before a black hole, or you would use your teleport to escape. I've already explained why escaping via teleport is inherently broken on a hero that has such long range and such high damage, which is why that's been removed. So, I also, and another reason to just remove the teleport altogether, is put it into his black hole if you always use it anyways. So, I've taken an ability that is questionably broken and something that you did all the time anyways, and just incorporate it into a ability to make it work better, period. So if you don't have enough reasons to believe why teleport needs to go in this scenario, I don't know what else will convince you. I'm sorry. Black hole. Gideon teleports vertically, straight up, out of basic attack range. I don't know how far that is, 600 units, 500, 400, however far. You're outside of melee basic attack range. Melee basic attack, not ranged basic attack. Summoning a black hole that draws in and damages enemy units caught within a 700 unit radius, whatever it was, over 4 seconds. It's the same thing, except he teleports vertically outside of melee basic attack, not outside of ranged basic attack. However, enemies closer to the center are pulled more, just like before. And black hole creates a black sphere that blocks all vision through its surface. So if you are inside his black hole, you can look around and see inside his black hole. If you are outside his black hole, you cannot see inside the black hole. Just like a black hole actually works. I mean, if you want to take general relativity into account on the inside, well, that'd be crazy. But that's a little too far. So what this does is, if you're on the outside, you have to guess and try to remember where Gideon is inside his black hole to try to hit him. So it is a protective mechanism against Gideon. If you're on the inside, well, you can just look up and see there, hey, there's Gideon, and you can start shooting him. Which is fair, because you're caught in his ultimate. Gideon, we tried to... I think vision is the only thing that Gideon needs. If he's going to deal a crap ton of damage, if he's gonna block vision and slow people and pull people in, if he's gonna have a void tether and gain increased movement speed, he simply cannot have a shield reduce damage. I think that's fair. Not only does it fit the literal meaning of him having a black hole, like he creates a black hole, man. I think it makes sense. So, sorry that this video is a little bit longer, but I think I've given the reasoning for this rework very well. I've explained why his premise best suits Gideon. Not only lore-wise, but his entire kit is meant to deal damage and be a complete monster, so he's a burst high-damage mage. His passive needs to help him do that a little bit by giving him increased movement speed so he can get within range to do his kit better, and gank, because he is a good ganker. Plus, empower his damage, which is the main part of a damage dealer. With the ability penetration, his cosmic rift deals a little bit of damage to have good wave clear, but is empowered by his void tether, which is a skill shot and a little bit of utility. Void breach, another damage ability, but that's medium range, but also is empowered by void tether, which is another skill shot on top of his skill shot. Black hole, which helps him in doing what you always did with his teleport anyways. Yeah. There he goes. You're gonna love it or hate it. I would love playing Gideon like this, because if you can deal a ton of damage, then you have to be careful with your positioning. And you know what? You don't have your teleport? Fine by me if you can do a ton of damage. Please like the video, like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Probably gonna dislike it. Let's be honest, and share with this community, and of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys like this content, want more of it, well, let me know down in the comments, so I would love to hear your ideas. Till next time, like always, stay positive and optimistic.